If you would ask my parents, they would probably say of all their kids, they never thought I would be the one to move abroad, let alone come into missions. I was born in Ethiopia, and I had two adoptions.
Tsion was 7 years old when we heard about her and brought her into our family.
I had heard about her from my niece, who worked for a family who had several adopted children.
We heard about her off and on because things were moving sometimes sideways, sometimes backwards in Tsion's life. And one day, we had to leave to go get her.
My father had left for the army, and so that left my mom with my brother and I. She was ill. She wanted a better life for my brother and I, and the right thing for her was to bring us to an orphanage. Until one day, for whatever reason, we got split. And when I was 6 years old, I got adopted by a single mother. As a kid, you're thinking, you're going to a place that is stable, but it was quite the opposite for me. My time was spent in a very small room. I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, some dogs were treated better. Even the way she would bring food to us when she knocked on twice is when we can open the door and get the food. I remember one time she would come in and she brought her 3 daughters with her, and they just watched me getting beaten. As a child, you just think, is this it? Like, is this what's all left? I remember thinking I was better off at the orphanage. I came to school one time and I couldn't pick up the pen because I had bruises. This teacher was an angel sent. She would come and she'd turn my hands over, and she's just like, this is not normal. And so she reported it. And that's when I got up for adoption again to wonderful parents.
I just remember seeing her for the first time and seeing the fear in her eyes.
I had no idea what she looked like because we had not seen any kind of pictures. And I was just kind of like, wow, this is such a pretty girl. How could anyone give her up, really? And I pretty much loved Tsion from the minute I laid eyes on her.
Us bringing her home before we had our paperwork completed, that's not something that was normal for me.
We could still be in jail for what we did.
But I was prepared to take that risk for her because we needed to bring her home.
I remember driving up the driveway when we were coming, and all of them running to the driveway because they were meeting me for the first time. I was just like, wow, I've never felt this, a home full of love.
We were able to complete the adoption paperwork, and she was number 9. Tsion's paperwork said that she had no living relatives. So we were expecting this little orphan with no other ties. And then she said, but I have a brother.
I have this beautiful home, a country with opportunity, but there was a piece of me that was missing, and that was my brother. My mom did the research, and sure enough, they found him.
So that meant that we had to go get him. That was then number 10.
I went back to Ethiopia to pick up my brother, actually. Even though my mind didn't remember a lot of things, my heart did. So when I came back from Ethiopia, I started to have these panic attacks.
She was rejected a few too many times, and so that had an effect on her.
I remember just crying to God, like, why am I feeling this? And I felt like God was just so far, like I couldn't touch him. I didn't have access to him. I felt angry at him, but I felt like I didn't have the right to be angry with him. I will never forget when I was 19, just being like, God, I don't know why you hated me, I feel like I don't belong in this world. If you are loving God, why did you let the things that happened to me and my brother happen, I had my eyes closed, and as I opened it, it's like Jesus right in front of me, and we locked eyes, and all I heard was like, Tsion, I understand you. I understand you. The scars that you have, I too have them. This is Jesus. He was a perfect, no sin. He had the whole world, looking at mocking him and beating him. So yeah, he does understand. God just kept revealing himself to me. The more I got to know him, and the more I saw the beauty within myself and the gifting that he's instilled in me. Because God's heart is to place orphans in families, and he did that with me and my siblings. And there's so many beautiful kids out there that are needing home. And I think my desire is just to continue to love, because, Jesus had demonstrated that so beautifully, and I want to love well. And I'm not done. I know God has so much more for me, so much more.